What is going on, you guys? Welcome to today's video. Today we are doing front hubs and front wheel bearings on my Jetta wagon right here. Now the front wheel bearings aren't giving me any issue, but I believe they're still the original ones. The car has 135,000 miles on it. I did the rear wheel bearings about 10,000 miles ago. I ordered all these parts a while back, never got a chance to actually put them on the car. Again, there's no wobble, there's no play, but preventative maintenance. Instead of waiting until it's an actual issue on the car, I have the parts already here. Might as well knock it out before it's an issue. So what I'm really excited to try out today is this wheel bearing kit I got right here. Now, normally when you think wheel bearings for Volkswagens, you gotta press them out and press them back in using a press. But I watched a video from the Humble Mechanic, shout out Charles, and he used this kit to actually do the wheel bearings, pressing them out and pressing them back in, and you can do everything on the car, which is awesome because I don't have a press, but I got this. Now, if you want to check out Charles's video, it'll be linked down below. He always makes super awesome videos, very in-depth and very detailed. This will be more of the Cliff Notes version of how to do this. So one last overview of what we got here before we get started. So wheel bearing toolkit right here. We have our snap bearing tool right there. We have two new hubs, two new wheel bearings. We've got new snap bearings for each one. We've got new axle nuts for each one, and a couple other new nuts right here. Now, I say it every single time I pull one of the wheels off, but like, look at these things. They're massive. I love it. Okay, so before I go ahead and start removing anything on here, I want to show you guys up and down. We have no movement, and left and right, we have no movement. So again, you can see the wheel bearing currently isn't bad, but I believe it's still the original one, 135,000 miles on it. Probably pretty soon it should start giving me some issues. So again, preventative maintenance, want to change it out before it becomes a problem. But you can see no up and down play, no left and right play, control arms already been replaced, ball joints new, swivel end links new. The whole setup has been refreshed minus the wheel bearing, and then I have a new hub just to toss there as well. But again, you can see no play this way, no play this way. Currently it's good. So first step will be our big old 12-point socket, 30mm right here. We're going to use this to break our axle nut free. There we go. All right, so now with the axle nut out of our way, we're going to go ahead and remove the caliper and the rotor. No. Not having a set screw sometimes is a bit of a pain. This rotor's massive. Okay. Set you aside for right now. Alright, so next up I'm going to remove the 16 right here, holding the swivel end link to the control arm, and then we'll do the 313s on the bottom here, holding the ball joint into the control arm as well. All right, so with those out, we can go ahead and slide the whole thing forward. Out comes our axle, and there we go. Just to be safe and make sure, double check. Yep, that fits like it's supposed to. No issues there, good. Let me check this one, just make sure I got the same thing. Look at that, perfect. So we know these are good to go. And these look the right ones, but I guess until I press other ones out, we won't know. But there's that. So something I just noticed now that the axle nut is out of the way, there is actually a little bit of play in the bearing itself. Now again, there's no humming sound when everything's bolted up. It was very, very tight. But maybe the bearing is a little worse than I thought. I said it was all good to go, but now that everything's kind of unbolted and it's just a bearing by itself with the hub in it, there is a little play. So again, preventative maintenance before it's actually a big issue. Check your car over and make sure you do things before it's actually a problem, because yeah, definitely some play in that bearing, which again would have been very annoying to have to deal with on the road somewhere, not at home with adequate time. So glad I'm doing this now. So our next step is going to be removing the hub here from the wheel bearing. You can use like a slide hammer that goes through and you pull and smack from the inside out. I don't have one of those, but since I am replacing the hub and the wheel bearing, I'm going to use a hammer, just tap it on the outside. Maybe get lucky and pop it free. If not, I have this 24 millimeter socket that fits right inside the back side of the hub here. I'm going to spin this around and probably tap it through from the back side. One of those two methods should work. I'm just going to go for the back side and hit it this way. That should be the easier and smarter route. All right, I'm gonna be smart here. Use some heat. Great success. Heat is your friend. So, old hub out of the way. If you don't have the slide hammer, heat gun, 27 millimeter, smack it on out and you're good. Okay, moving right on. All right, next up will be the snap ring that's right here that holds the bearing in place. This one's kind of stuck in there. I'm gonna get a wire brush and clean on the outside because this side seems to be stuck in there pretty good. Normally they move fairly easy, but yeah, this left side's kind of stuck. I'll clean it up a little bit. There it is. So I got one side that was already free out, got the small flat in there, and kind of slowly worked it around because this side over here was a bit stuck. So when I get it all out, I'll clean out this side, put the new one in. But hub's out, snap rings off. Now we can grab our tool and get this thing pressed on out of there. What I want to do now, this is obviously our new bearing here. We want to find one of these little backing plates that is, as you can see, is too big. Well, that one's almost the exact same size. That one might work. We want one maybe like that. That's just a tiny bit smaller than our bearing, so that way this can sit here and pull the bearing through the hub, but not actually hit the hub. So one like, say this, that is actually bigger. It overlaps the wheel bearing. This one will pull the wheel bearing but hit the hub. So I think this one here, 95514. is gonna be our winner. So 95514 will be the back piece to pull our bearing through. That's good. We're gonna need one of the sleeves, maybe this one. That's gonna sit right there. So this outer area, that's part of the knuckle not touching the wheel bearing. This will sit just like that. And then we'll need probably this one that'll sit inside like so. So this side will face the wheel bearing. This bolt will go from the back side through that, through the wheel bearing, through this, and then we'll use our threaded sleeve here on top with our washers. And as we tighten down this one, it's going to pull this bolt from the back, pulling our spacer here, our little backing plate, and pull our wheel bearing through and out. Once it's kind of confusing now, all seeing it separate, but once it's all like in place, you'll see how it'll work. And you can see this one obviously fits around the wheel bearing, so that won't be in the way. So I'll get it all assembled and show you how it looks actually on the car. Also, surprisingly enough, I just realized the race stayed on this bearing. Normally, if you're keeping the old hub and reusing it, the outside race is stuck to here. You gotta like cut half it, like snap it off, heat it. It's a pain, but I usually have pretty good luck where the race just stays with the bearing. I don't quite know how, but it always seems to work out for me. We'll see the other side's the same way, but just want to note that the race actually stayed there. So, all right, let me show you how all this is gonna go together. So I actually swapped from the 14 down to the 12. The 14 seemed like it was catching on the hub a little bit, so we want to be able to pull straight through and not hit anything. So we'll do washers on our big bolt, like so. Backing plate, slide the whole thing from the back side through. Top cone with our other backing plate will go through on this side. And we'll feed that through the center. And then our last piece right here, we'll thread this on. And we'll get it all snugged up in center. Just like so, making sure we're completely on 32. For the front, I have one to hold the rear. That way. Alright, and now we will slowly tighten this side, pull that bolt through, and we should have a wheel bearing out momentarily. Let's see how much force. Oh yeah, I did take this out. I'm gonna put this bottom piece back into the control arm. I forgot to do that, and then we'll have a wheel bearing out. All right, so I went ahead and just tossed in one bolt from the ball joint to the control arm just to hold it in place as I'm cranking on this. The holding doesn't want to flex. So now I'm gonna go through and slowly crank on this until our wheel bearing wants to pop out. I think I'm actually catching the hub. I'm gonna back it off a little bit. I think on the back side I'm actually catching the hub over here. So let me readjust and make sure I have this set up properly on the back side. All right, I've recentered. I went down to the 11 in the back, just get a bit more room. It was kind of catching the bottom side of the hub. So now we'll give it another shot and see if it wants to pull through a bit easier. Oh, there it is. Voila. Look at that. Wheel bearing. Not too bad. So again, I went down to the 95511. When I watched Charles' video, he used the 14, but it seemed too big on my knuckle for whatever reason. So I used the 11. Worked perfectly. Took it right out. It's definitely a little bit of elbow grease for the first, I don't know, 10-15 turns, but after that, well, not too bad. So that wheel bearing is out. We'll clean up all of this and then reinstall. Look at that. All right, so looking at our knuckle now, you can see inside of here, nice and clean. I'm gonna put just a smidge of grease inside of here and that's good to go. And then over here for reinstallation of our new bearing on the Mark IVs, both sides are the same. They're not directional, just be careful if they are, but on mine, they're the same size both ways. Now on the outside, we're gonna use the 95515. This one is gonna be pressing the bearing in, and you want one that's just big enough to fit inside of here, but not actually hit the knuckle here. So you can see it fits inside there with a little bit of room to spare. So this one will be on the front side pushing the bearing in, and then on the back side we're gonna use the 14, the one that I was catching before. This one, if you look through here, this little ridge right here, so on the front side you can see the ridge right there, there's the same on the back side. This one will go through and sit right on that ridge on the back side. So this one, it will not go through at all. This one's gonna be holding, front one pushing in, this one on the back side holding it right there, and then we will slowly press our new bearing in. All right, so I went ahead and put just a smidge of liquid moly MOS2 grease on the inside, just a little tiny bit. We're gonna use our 15 on the front and our 14 will be our back side. So nuts and bolts, that will go through like so. And I'll wipe down our bearing here, make sure it's nice and clean. Trying to keep my dirty gloves off there. Alright, that will sit just like so. And we have our 15 for the front side. Alright. Get this nice and centered up, because we want this front backing plate here to be able to go through the knuckle and press the bearing fully in. So snug it like that. Looks to be nice and straight. It should go in fairly easily. I shouldn't have to crank it too hard, and if I am, it's one way or the other, but it looks pretty straight here. So let's work this bearing in. Oh yeah, you can see it going in. This thing goes in like butter. So yeah, if you're putting the bearing in and it's taking a lot of force, it's going in crooked. But I mean, you can see a little bit of grease, this fantastic tool, and she goes. And there will be a very distinctive stop when it hits that back little lip. Almost. I think that's it. Yeah, very distinctive, just stop. All right, so there's that. Let's spin this back off. Look at that. One fresh wheel bearing installed. That was pretty smooth. That went pretty smooth. Next step, snap ring. Snap ring, snap ring, snap ring. Not bad. All right, so snap ring is now in. We're just about done. All we have to do is press our hub in, and that will be it. We're gonna use the number 11 on the back side of the bearing to hold, back over here to hold the race from being pushed through. And we're gonna use this one, which is the number 7 on the front of the hub, to go this way and press in, similar to how we pressed in the bearing into the hub. So again, this one on the back side to hold the race from popping through, this one to go on the front side of the hub, pull everything together, and then same with this to bolt through, and this side, and then in, and then reassemble, and this side will be done. Bolt and 11 on the back side. Slide our hub in like so. Also, I've gone through and cleaned this side and cleaned inside of there. No grease for this one. Just kind of make sure it's lined up properly. And then taking the console of the bearing, slowly work it in. You'll feel a distinctive stop, and then you are good to go. And my snap ring's on, didn't forget that. Okay, that looks to be nice and even, I believe. Yes. Yeah, okay. One for the back, one for the front. Oh, right there. Distinctive stop, one little finishing pump, and that should be it. So now, spin this one, let's break this free. Off, out, no play, no play. I can feel the heavy resistance. wheel bearing and hub, removal, installation, check. I gotta say, this tool is key. I'll leave a link down below. I think it was like 50, maybe like 60 bucks. Super cheap. You don't need a press. Don't gotta pull your knuckle off the car. I mean, this tool is key. So again, no more play at all. Nice rolling resistance on there, and it's shiny and new. Let's go. So from this point on, the hardest part is over. All we need to do, work in reverse, reassemble everything. This side will be done. One more side to do, and we got fresh wheel bearings and hubs on the wagon. All right, check it out. Wheels back on, everything tightened up. And what you just watched in the last time lapse was the process at which you're supposed to actually torque down the axle nut. I'll put a screenshot from Charles' video. It's kind of a confusing process, which I've never actually done before. I've always just like snugged it down to like 147 and called it a day, but there's a whole process that I try to follow. But yeah, I'll put a picture on the screen right here if you want to watch his video and see the entire process. Definitely do that. He explains it better than I could, but I followed that. Axle nut is definitely tight, so hopefully it's good to go. But essentially, I'm gonna end the video here. I have to do one more side, which is this side, but it's the exact same process, so nothing new. But I'm very pleased with how that all went. This kit, again, this kit is huge to have. I never knew this existed. I don't know how long it's been around, but whenever I thought wheel bearing was always take it off the car, go get it press it out, press it back in, and you're good. But I mean, this kit, amazing. It's like 60 bucks, can't beat it. I'll link it down below. Yeah, I'll say if you own Volkswagens and you plan on doing wheel bearings, working on your own car, having this kit is definitely worth the money. I mean, this is awesome. Now, aside from the wheel bearing, I didn't show you guys, I actually went through and relocated the HID ballast for the headlights from the back over the wheel arch to like the front corner, like up here in the fender well. That way the car hopefully can go a little bit lower now. I did go ahead and smush that pinch wood up even flatter, again relocating the HID ballast to the front, so now there's really nothing in the way. And I also added an adjustable sway bar end link to the sway bar, which is one of these right here. More pieces I forgot I had ordered, so I adjusted it up like this, so it's maybe, I'll put a picture on the screen so you can see them side by side, maybe like 10-15 millimeters longer for these ones, just to give that car that much room for the sway bar to go up and not catch the axle. Now, whether it's the axle hitting the sway bar or the tire hitting the top of the fender, I'm not quite sure, but now both of those are eliminated, so hopefully the front of the car goes a bit lower and this can match the rear even better. I got it a little bit lower, but I still want the front to go more. I'm being greedy at this point, but I just want it to go just that much lower. So hopefully those are the things will take care of that. So with that, gonna end this video here. Hope you guys enjoyed. Do not forget, be thankful for every single day. We'll see you guys next time. Peace. Holy crap. Wow. My hand hurts bad. Oh. So, I always like to show things like this. Let me get a seat here because my hand hurts. Okay. I always like to show parts like this because this side of the car went really smooth. Like everything worked as it should. Driver's side. God, this thing did not want to get out. You can see the race is stuck to this one. Remember how I said I get so lucky and the race stays with the bearing? Yeah, no. This side heard that and said, oh, bet. And yeah, this side stuck on there. Also, my hand hurts so bad. I don't know what it was. I heated this side up like crazy. I mean, it's obviously the race is stuck to it, but I heated this side up for like 30 minutes straight. It was like glowing. smacked it, tried, look, the bumper's off the car. I tried so many methods, and I was like, you know what, we'll just pull it all the way off the car, which, but I wanted to show this because sometimes things go super well, and you're like, wow, that looks so easy, and sometimes it really is that simple, and other times you get stuck on a hub for, I don't even know how long it's been, but it's dark, you smash your finger. Okay, welp, that was the most difficult part, but now that that's out of the way, I have the press tool, and the rest of it should be cake, but my hand hurts. I'm gonna end this video here. Actually, I'll just update you when this side's done, because I'm not gonna say it, but we'll see when it's done, hopefully soon-ish, because I'm over it. Oh, my hand hurts. Welp, it is currently 11:02, and I'm officially giving up. The other side went perfectly. This side, every single step has been an issue, and I don't understand. Like, the hub didn't want to come out. The whatever, the snap ring was like welded into the hub. Had to like bend that and like snap it out. The wheel bearing actually came out no problem, which is right there. And then the new wheel bearing, same thing, cleaned it, a little bit of grease, and then dude, it just will not go in. It's gotten this far and it's completely just locked. Mind you, I started before and kept going kind of crooked back and forth. I took the wheel bearing, put it in the freezer for like 45 minutes, and then it's going in, gets to here, and it just locks. And if you look where I put it, I don't know where it's at this point. There's a mess of things here somewhere, and it's also my finger. My finger got smashed real good. Oh, it's over here actually. The original bolt that came with the wheel bearing kit. Look at this thing. Stripped out as I was trying to put the wheel bearing in. So funny enough, I have 3 spring compressors somehow have the same bolt and thread. So I tried that, but it's literally locked. The wheel bearing will not move. Where it's at right there, that's it. Like, stuck. Won't budge. It's in straight. It was clean inside. I did the exact same thing as the other side. I do not understand what the problem is. Literally perfect on that side. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong on this side, and now it's 11. I've been on this side for like 5 hours, and it won't do anything. So what I'm thinking now, I'm kind of over this whole entire side, this whole knuckle, this wheel bearing. Like, it can all go in the trash can. I don't care anymore. Jack does have a parts car Mark IV, or did. Maybe it's still there. I don't even know. I'll text him. If he still has that and the wheel bearings are good, I might just go snag that knuckle with the wheel bearing and just put it on this car and just be done with it. Because, like, this is insane. Or I'll have to pull this off. I could probably pull the wheel bearing back out, but I don't think it'd be trashed because it's not all the way in. I just don't understand what's wrong with this whole side. Like, maybe the knuckle itself is bent, or I don't know. Maybe that's why it was a pain to get it out before. But the wheel bearing came out no problem, but maybe this whole knuckle just needs to go, because this has been ridiculous. The most unnecessary just trash I've ever seen. Whew. The fact the car is not on fire right now is an actual miracle. So, not want to make this video too annoyingly long. Passenger side, perfect. Everything out, everything in. Literally first try, perfect. This side, I think now this knuckle might be slightly bent or something with this knuckle, because like everything has been an issue. So I might go tomorrow, if Jack has that parts car still, steal the knuckle off that one. I might be able to pop this wheel bearing back out and then still save it, because like it's still in one piece, the race is still in it, and I can still go from the backside and pop it back out. But like, this has been such a nightmare, and I am so over it, and my finger hurts, and just so yeah, you see both sides of it. Sometimes it goes perfect and looks like YouTube magic, and other times it's this till 11 o'clock at night, because this wheel bearing just doesn't want to go in, doesn't want to go its home. It does not want to go to its home, and I don't understand why. Okay, I'm ending this video here. I'll figure this out later. I have a mess to clean up. Bye.